There's nothing quite like the feeling of reading a truly scary story, is there? You know, the kind that gets under your skin and into your head, leaving you with a lingering sense of dread long after you've turned the final page? And if you're a fan of classic literature, then chances are you've already delved into some of the most terrifying tales ever told. But what if I told you that these beloved stories might be even more haunting than you ever imagined? Because today we're diving deep into the darker, more sinister aspects of some classic horror narratives. So buckle up, dear listeners, because we're about to uncover the chilling secrets that will make you see these iconic stories in a whole new light. One of the most enduring and terrifying stories ever told is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Published in 1818, this gothic horror novel tells the tale of a man who creates a monster from various body parts and then abandons it, leading to catastrophic consequences. But beneath the surface of this cautionary tale lies a much darker secret. You see, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein at a time when the study of human anatomy was relatively new, and the source of cadavers was often a source of controversy. Some believe that she may have based her monster on real-life anatomical specimens, including a man who was hanged, dissected, and then exhibited at the Royal College of Surgeons. Talk about a monster mash. Another classic horror narrative that's sure to raise the hairs on the back of your neck is Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's published in 1897. This tale of a Transylvanian countess who preys on the blood of innocent villagers is still considered one of the scariest stories ever written. But what if I told you that Stoker's inspiration for Dracula was unjust a figment of his imagination? Well, it turns out that Stoker's research notes contain several references to real-life individuals who may have inspired elements of the character. For example, he was fascinated by the story of Elizabeth, a Hungarian countess who was rumored to have bathed in the blood of young girls. Yikes. Now let's turn our attention to the legendary author H.P. Lovecraft, whose tales of cosmic horror are still terrifying readers today. One of his most famous stories, The Call of Cthulhu, published in 1928, tells the story of an ancient deity whose worshippers are trying to bring back to Earth. But Lovecraft's stories were more than just a product of his imagination. He drew inspiration from a variety of sources, including his own personal experiences and the fears and anxieties of the time. For example, some scholars believe that The Call of Cthulhu was partly inspired by Lovecraft's own battle with mental illness, as well as the growing fear of communism and fascism in Europe. Finally, let's take a look at one of the most famous ghost stories ever told. Henry James's The Turn of the Screw, published in 1898. This novella follows a young governess who becomes convinced that the two children in her care are being haunted by the ghosts of former servants. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that the line between the living and the dead is much more blurred than it first appears. And while James never explicitly stated where he got the idea for the turn of the screw, scholars have noted similarities between the story and several real-life events, including the haunting of a country house in Sussex, England. So there you have it, just a sampling of the many classic horror narratives that are even scarier than you might have imagined. From the monsters of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to the ghosts of Henry James's The Turn of the Screw, these stories have captivated readers for generations. But now you know that they're even more haunting and thought-provoking than you might have realized. So the next time you settle in for a night of scary stories, be sure to keep these darker secrets in mind. You might just find that your favorite tales are even more terrifying than you ever imagined. And if you enjoyed this video and want to support us, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Your support helps us continue producing videos that bring these classic stories to life. So thank you for watching. Now go explore the dark and spooky world of classic literature. You never know what kind of chilling secrets you might uncover.